So these are my World Cup predictions for 2022. My name is Matty Ice. I am a semi-professional analyst, sports analyst. So these are my World Cup predictions. And I've been playing. I have a great understanding of soccer. Been playing my whole life, really. So these are my World Cup predictions, for Qatar 2022. Let's get started. We're going to talk about the winners, and then I'm also going to talk about each group stage, like each group and the winners from each group. So placement, let's start off with the placement. Number 1, Brazil. I think Brazil are they just don't really have any holes. They don't have a whole lot of injuries, and they did really well in the qualifiers. They're in a tough group, CONMEBOL. I think that's like the hardest group to qualify in. So I think Brazil are set to win. I think Neymar, of all like the top teams, I think Neymar is one of the better leaders. I think for Brazil, he kind of takes that role. He kind of leads by example, plays kind of the Brazilian way in a way, with the flair, with the fun and the creativity. So, and I think creativity is a big part of success, especially in sports. So I give the nod to Brazil. They have the pedigree. Well, I think when we think of the World Cup, we think of Brazil. So I'm going with Brazil. Number 2, Argentina. I don't think there's a player that deserves a World Cup win more than Lionel Messi. I think he will probably go down as the best player to never win a World Cup if he doesn't win a World Cup. I mean, the guy has 6 Ballon d'Ors. It's hard to argue that he's an all-time great. Some people say he is the best of all time, but I definitely think he's like a top 5 all-time player without a doubt, maybe top 3. Argentina number 2. I think what I like about this team now is the fact that they're less reliant on Messi, and I think that's gonna help them overall. It kind of reminds me of like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar won some championships later in his career. It's because they were less reliant on him and they had other talent around him. I feel like that's the case now with Argentina. So I think they just have good cohesion, but they know how they want to play as well. And Messi is still a player they can rely on. It's not like Messi's a scrub. He's still a very productive player. So I think they have a real shot at winning the World Cup this year. Germany, number 3, they're kind of like my dark horse. I think Germany kind of just has that pedigree. And what I know in the World Cup is a lot of it is just pedigree. Like, it's really like the same teams that finish like in the top 4 like almost every year. So I think Germany definitely has a chance. They still have a lot of players that have played in huge games. I mean, they have experience, definitely. Muller and Neuer, and they got a roster full of young talent as well, and we'll talk about that or one of those players soon. But I think Germany definitely have a real chance. They're a physical, bigger team. I think they can match with a lot of different teams. And 4th, I have France. They were originally my number 1 pick, but then kind of injuries kind of took a hold of this team, and I feel like in order to win a World Cup, you kind of have to have everything go right. And I just feel like a couple reasons I'm not going with France number 1. I mean, I think if you look at the stat sheet and you're playing FIFA or whatever, like they probably have the most talented roster. They have Mbappe number 1, who you could argue is the best player in the world. And they have a lot of other good players. Nkunku was the reason I had them originally at number 1, but then he got injured, so I took them off because I think he's a fantastic player. Nkunku, he plays in the Bundesliga for Leipzig, and he's really good. And I think and they also have Benzema, who won the Ballon d'Or. So they have arguably like the 3 best players in the world all in the same team. But again, I feel like their cohesion is weird. I'm not sold on Mbappe as a leader. I feel like a lot of it comes down to leadership. Like if you look throughout history, a lot of the teams that win, they have good leadership at the top. Like you look at Spain, you look at Iniesta, Xavi, you look at the old Germany teams, they still have like Muller and Neuer and those guys, Lahm and those guys. Argentina has Messi. I think he's a capable leader. I don't quite feel that way about Mbappe or Benzema for that matter, but Benzema's kind of been in and out the team and stuff. I feel like they have chemistry issues, is what I'm getting at. So, yeah, I have them placed at number 4. I wouldn't be surprised if they did better, but I just have a lot of question marks with them. They have injuries and things like that too. Top scorer, I think Neymar. Neymar's in very good form right now, and it's really all about form and who's playing the best. He's doing really well in, granted, League One, but he's still playing really well. I think he plays seemingly even as well, if not better, for Brazil. So, he's a player that, again, plays well pretty much everywhere he plays. I've never really seen him play poorly, like, in any team, in any circumstance. So, I don't doubt he's going to come fired up. I think for a lot of players, this is their last World Cup. For Neymar, it might be, we talk about Messi, it might be. But, yeah, I think Neymar is going to have a good World Cup. Golden Boy Musiala. There's been a lot of hype around this guy. I've seen him play a couple times for Bayern. Yeah, he's good, I'm not going to argue that he's good. I definitely think he deserved Golden Boy this year, or the official name one is. That's not the World Cup, like the one that Gavi won or something. I was like, bro, how did he win? But anyways, that's a whole different discussion. I think Musiala is like clearly good. I think more effective going forward, which I feel like most Ballon d'Or winners are good attackers. So like, yeah, I think he'll be like the best young player, and for a Germany squad that I think is going to be very competitive. Okay, so those are my main picks. I'm going to talk about each group stage and kind of break down who I think is the winner, first, second from each group stage. We'll start with Group 1. I think we have Senegal. If Mane wasn't hurt, if it was Senegal of last year, I would maybe even pick Senegal to finish in the top 4. But they've had injuries and questionable form and things like that. I'm still going to have them get out of this group only because Qatar is the host nation, but I can't name one player on that team. And Ecuador, they shouldn't have even qualified for the World Cup. I think they had some player that wasn't like Ecuadorian or something. I feel like they don't really deserve to be there, to be honest with you guys. And I have a friend that's from Chile, and he's like, I made that for him. I made that for my boy. But if you guys know about that one, but so like, yeah. But I'm gonna go with Senegal and Netherlands. I think Senegal is gonna win the group. Netherlands are a good team. They're sneaky. My boy Paul Linho picked them to win it all, I think. Yeah, I'm gonna pick them second out the group. I don't know. I don't really see it. I don't think they really have like star power like that. But okay. Group B. Let's see. This is the most trash group, I think. I don't think any of these teams has any chance of winning anything. England is just miserable. I used to like, you can predict leagues as like a way to like see who's gonna win. Like for instance, like when Bundesliga was hot, Germany was really good. When the La Liga was hot, Barca had like all those players, Iniesta, Xavi, and all them. Spain was hot. But I look at England, the Premier League is hot, but I'm like, England team is just not hot. England is trash to me. I feel like they just underachieve. They're like the most underachieving team ever, I think. Like when you look up an underachieving team, that's England. Like Iran, I don't even know how they qualified. To me, they have no chance. Almost as bad of a chance as US. I think United States is the worst team in this entire tournament. I think they're absolutely trash. Pulisic can barely get in the lineup. And he's like their best player at Chelsea. He plays for Chelsea. I think Wales is probably going to qualify along with England. I think Wales at least has some decent players, and then England should qualify. I mean, this group is trash. I could probably make like 2 of these teams. I'm just kidding. Maybe Iran. I might be able to get on an Iran roster 6-7 years ago. I'm totally joking. That's so disrespectful. Let's move on to Group C. I think Argentina is going to win this, and then Mexico. This one is very clear for me. Poland, Saudi Arabia, I do think these Middle Eastern teams are going to come with some heat because, it's in Qatar. But Argentina definitely winning this group. This is actually a pretty tough group because I think Saudi Arabia, like I said, they're going to come with some heat. Not a whole lot of talent, but they'll come with some heat. And Mexico have good chemistry. That's kind of a sleeper pick too. They're usually very, very solid. They play hard. Those are our neighbors down south. I'm from America, in America. But Argentina, Mexico in that order. Group D, let's see, France, definitely. This group is kind of trash too, but France, Denmark. Denmark did really well in the qualifiers. They're a good team. Hold on a second. My freaking hamster's like rattling his cage. Let me go yell at this guy real quick. Okay, as I was saying, we already talked about France. Yeah, so France and Denmark in that order. Group E, gonna have to go with Germany and then Spain. Japan's pretty good. Their women's team is good too. So Japan is underrated, I feel like, in soccer overall. My boy Tomiyasu's on the team. I'm a big Arsenal fan. So I think Japan plays with good chemistry. They're kind of like Mexico. They might not have like the most talented players, but like they play with good chemistry. They play with good energy. I like how they play. I'm not sure they'll beat Spain or Germany though. But that's also a tough group because Costa Rica's not bad either. Granted, they qualified in the U.S.'s group, CONCACAF, and I think Jamaica almost qualified in that group. I'm kidding. I'm not even sure about that one. Group is trash though. Any group, U.S. would not qualify in CONMEBOL is what I'm saying, and I'm pretty sure they wouldn't qualify in UEFA either. I don't even know how they made the World Cup, to be honest. They're absolutely trash. Now, if this was American football, we'd make it. But like soccer, football, no. Sorry, I just have to trash U.S. Even in a different group. Group F, I'm gonna have to go with Belgium, with my boy Kevin De Bruyne, and freaking Croatia. Croatia with the Ballon d'Or winner. What's his name? I totally can't even think of his name right now. But yeah, that team is solid. Belgium and Croatia are kind of similar in a way. Canada's good too. Now this is a tough group too because Morocco's got some heat too. So that's probably one of the tougher groups as well. I definitely think that could go either way. We'll probably have some type of upset in that group because, like I said, I don't think Morocco's coming to this to roll over. I don't think Canada's coming to this to roll over. I don't think any of these teams are really mentally out of it. And I don't think Belgium are that good. They've been disappointing pretty much every time I see them play, it seems like, especially in major tournaments. They haven't really lived up to the hype or the rosters they've had. Honestly, I don't really have a whole lot of faith in them. In fact, if I go back, let me go back on this pick. I'm gonna go with Croatia, and I'm gonna go with Morocco here. I think Morocco's a solid team. I think they're a solid team. They play with some heat. But that one could go either way. Canada's good too. Let's go to Group G. Group G, Brazil. This group's kind of questionable too. I'm gonna go with Brazil. I'm gonna go with Cameroon. I have Cameroonian blood. I'm like 25% or something like that. So I'm gonna go with Cameroon because I'm gonna go with my people. But like Serbia also, like, I don't think Serbia or Switzerland are that good. Switzerland looks like their flag looks like a hospital flag, and we know Brazil is just the World Cup. When you think of the World Cup, you think of like Brazil. Serbia, like I said, I don't think Serbia are really like anyone seriously thinks they're gonna win anything. So I'm gonna go with Cameroon and Brazil. And lastly, Group H. I'm I think Ronaldo is washed. I'll be the first, second, and third to say it. Like, look, it's sports, dude. Players get washed, and they get washed very fast. I've seen it happen time and time again all over the place. I've seen Michael Jordan be kind of washed. I've seen LeBron be kind of washed. I've seen lots of players be washed. I've seen Ronaldo, like the original Ronaldo, be washed. I've seen Ronaldinho be washed. I've seen Thierry Henry be washed. I've seen I've seen everyone, every athlete be washed at some point in time. Now that doesn't mean they're not great all-time players. Like Ronaldo is probably a top 5, maybe 10 all-time player. I'm not gonna argue with that. But he right now at 37 years old, which is 7 years older than me, oh, he's washed. Trust me. When you're young, you don't understand how hard it is to play at 37. I am 30. I'm like half as fast as I used to be. Like my stamina is half of what it used to be. Like it is not easy to play at that age. So, and honestly, I feel like United are a mess anyways. So, like, I don't really blame him fully for that, but I think he definitely needs to get his ego in check. I mean, that's obvious. But at the same time, he's won, I think, 5, 6 Ballon d'Ors. So, but, again, I got faith in this team going through. This is another tough group. I'm going to go with, I take that back. I'm going to go with Ghana to go through. I'm going to go with the Black Stars. They got a little bit of World Cup pedigree, I think. Really more than any other African team outside of maybe Cameroon. I think they got a little bit of World Cup pedigree. So I think they're going to come, and they're going to come with some heat. I like Partey from Arsenal, of course. And I like Uruguay. Again, anybody from CONMEBOL I kind of think has half a shot other than Ecuador. It's a tough group, and Uruguay they got some fighters on that team. I think they'll perform really well. They got a little bit of pedigree too. They got some heat. They really got some heat. Now South Korea, I used to date a Korean girl, and she was good. So South Korea, I'm just not too. I don't think they're very good. I might even go as far as to say they're trash. But, they made the World Cup, so. Yeah, out of this group, I'm going to go with Ghana and Uruguay. I just think Portugal are washed. I don't know, man. I don't buy the hype. I think Ronaldo's washed. I think whenever your best player is washed, I just feel like you maybe can't win. Like, that's just my theory. But that's it. This is my World Cup prediction for Qatar 2022. It's the Winter Cup, one of the most unique World Cups. I'm going to be watching a lot of games. Yeah, stay tuned for more vids. Make sure you guys subscribe. Let me know what you guys think, what your picks are. Leave a comment. Thank you for watching, and peace out.